up, Tribe? Happy Saturday. Here is your push workout with no equipment needed whatsoever. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna take you through a warm-up, walk through that workout, and then send you guys on your way and give you some recommendations of any type of an app of some sort for a timer. So that'll help you keep on track today. So here is your warm-up for today's push. So we're gonna start with some jumping jacks. Let's do 20 jumping jacks. Nice job, guys. Do 10 air squats. 10 air squats, getting nice and low, coming all the way to the top. Let's do 10 of those. All right, shake those legs out a little bit. So from here, let's do some knee hugs. Let's do 10 alternating knee hugs. Get nice and tall. Hug that knee. Whoa! Can't multitask. I was looking at the board and trying to do a knee hug at the same time. All right, so let's go down and do some plank walkouts. We're gonna walk out, little inchworm, walk up those hands to a high plank position, and then walk those hands back. Try to get a couple of those in. Guys. And from here, big ol' reach, we're gonna go down into a low plank position. So we're gonna go down, hold a low plank. So for these planks today, you've got these plank hip taps. We're just gonna go over your forearm plank. So it's a low plank on your forearms. So I'm gonna have my forearms glued down, my shoulders stacked over my wrists, come up into a good plank position. Let's just hold this for about 10 seconds. So big thing with your planks today, we don't want to be sagging our hips or piking our hips. So finding a good neutral spine right here, and also not leaning up with our neck or arching that neck down, right? So good neutral spine, drop those knees. Your movement today with that plank is going to be a low plank hip tap. So the way this will work is, it might be easiest for me to do this way. Holding right here, I'm gonna come over, tap my hips, and then tap my hips. If that is not happening, and you're like, there is no way I'm gonna do that, go to your forearms and hold a plank, all right? Hold that plank on your forearms, right here. Or we can come up to a high plank position and hold here as well. So whatever you feel like you are gonna do today, let's do that. So if you're gonna hold a plank, a static plank, let's hold for another 10 seconds. If you're gonna try those low plank hip taps, let's try to do 6 total, 3 each side, all right? So 6 total, 3 each side. So 1, bring those hips over as far as I can to tap those hips to the ground. Or we're holding that static plank. Up to you today, all right? Do what feels challenging, but manageable, all right? So, and also do progressions. If you start with those hip taps, do that. If you need to scale to that high plank hold, totally fine. So just know yourself and work to the best of your ability, all right? All right, guys, with your prisoner, kneeling to standing tall. The way this is gonna work, my hands are behind my head in a prisoner position. The way this will work is you're gonna be on your knees. To start, I'm gonna step up with, say, my right leg first. I'm gonna step and extend this leg all the way up. So I'm gonna drive up, meet my left foot to meet it, step back with my left foot, and bring my right knee back down. Then I'm gonna switch legs. Left knee's gonna come forward. I'm gonna drive up, stand, and then I'm gonna go back and then alternate, so on and so forth, for 45 seconds, right? If that is not happening today, what I want you to do is we are gonna focus on these prisoner squats. You're gonna come down, prisoner squat down and up, down and up. So we're gonna do that right there. If you'd like more of a challenge, you can do prisoner walking lunges. So if you feel like being on your knees, if that's painful or anything like that, we can definitely do some prisoner walking lunges, which would be stepping forward and driving up that way, if you'd rather do that. So whatever floats your boat, but your prisoner kneeling to standing tall, that is what that's gonna look like, all right? All right, guys, so we're gonna talk about your split stance, right knee to left elbow, and then your other side. So the way this will work is you're gonna be in basically somewhat of a forward lunge. So I'm gonna be in a lunge position. I'm gonna bring my right elbow up. This left knee is gonna be what I'm driving to meet my right elbow before I extend back. So I'm pulling in and then extending. Pulling in, keeping my base nice and wide with these 2 feet. As always, if you have a lunge and you're going from here, that balance is gonna get real wonky really fast. So make sure you have a nice wide base of the legs before going into that movement. So again, here's another side angle of this. I'm gonna have a nice wide base. Right elbow is gonna come and meet my left knee at the top, keeping that balance the best that I can. If that feels like it's way too much and you feel like you're off balance or anything like that, let's focus on getting a wide base through lunge and then thinking of bringing in as close as you can. So even if it's right here, do the best that you can. Try to deepen it each time. Try to get a little more of a twist each repetition. See how you feel. So if I'm gonna move over to my other side, it would be my left knee forward, left elbow up, my right leg is back. This knee is gonna come up to meet the opposite elbow, coming in and twisting each time. So you can go as fast as you want with these or as controlled as you want. If you want to be more controlled, go a little bit slower, work on that balance, totally fine. If you want to speed it up, go as fast as you can. You're going to feel it in that leg in the front that is bent, in that booty, in that quad, all right? So up here and all back there is where that's supposed to be felt. Also in your core. So you want to think of big twist with every single rep, all right? Today, it is your no equipment needed workout. You got 4 rounds, 21 minutes total of your 45 seconds of work, 15 seconds of rest intervals. So you'll be doing 45 seconds of your prisoner kneeling to standing tall. So going up with either your right leg first, standing up, meeting that left leg to the top, standing all the way up with those hands behind your head, and stepping all the way back down. And then you got 15 seconds of rest, followed by 45 seconds of your split stance, right knee to your left elbow. So remember, if your left elbow is going to your right knee, that left leg is going to be forward, so that left elbow can come over and across to meet your right knee. So you're kind of standing, a split stance, what they call it. Almost think of doing like somewhat of a lunge, right? So you're gonna do 45 seconds of that right knee to left elbow, 15 seconds of rest. You got 45 seconds of your split stance, left knee to right elbow, so doing the opposite side. Then 15 seconds of rest. Last but not least, you're doing the 45 seconds of your low plank hip taps. So remember, if you're not doing those plank hip taps, you're gonna be holding that static plank. After that, you're gonna rest for 90 seconds before starting your next round. We're going through that 4 times, and that is 21 minutes total. All right, so if you want to set your clock, what I might recommend, looking at this, that is 1 minute of 45 seconds and then 15 seconds of rest, right? So there's 1 minute right there. I would probably set my clock to 1, 2, 3, and then 3:45 as my time, and then 90 seconds of rest. So 3 minutes and 45 seconds, and then 90 seconds of rest. So if you have your WOD Red app, which is what Casper and I use here over at our house, the way that we like to set our clock for something like this would be a Tabata, which would mean that I'm gonna figure out how many rounds of work mixed with either my work time and then rest time followed by that. So the way I would do this would be that my work time would be 3 minutes and 45 seconds. So that factors in my work and my rest time, all right? So there's my work time. Then my rest time would be that 90 seconds we talked about. So 1 minute and 30 seconds would be how I would set this clock. And then I can go down and say how many rounds. So remember, 4 rounds. I'm gonna set this thing to 4 rounds. So you can set this all the way up to 100 rounds. We're just gonna do 4, all right? 4 rounds. And then look at that. So I've got my rounds, I've got my time, and then once I finish this, it's gonna go into my 90 seconds of rest and then pick back up for round 2 for 3 minutes and 45 seconds of work. Remember, that factors in your 45 seconds of moving and your 15 seconds of rest. So just make sure you're keeping track of that. If that totally confuses you, you just do your best. All right. Good luck, tribe.